Welcome to Empowerment Radio. My name is Dr. Friedemann, and I'm so glad that you decided to join me. Empowerment Radio is about giving you the insights, tools, and solutions to address some of the most challenging aspects of our daily lives. So sit back, relax, and empower yourself.
How are you doing? I know that a lot of people are freaking out about this whole coronavirus issue. And I think there's a lot of just that fear and the fear of getting ill and that defense and what do we do and the confusion and should I travel, should I go to work, should I even touch other people, should I even talk to other people? All of that is going on, and I think it really leaves people in a very contracted place. So since I am working with fear and anxiety, and this is one of my favorite topics, I am offering on March 14th, Saturday at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 10 a.m., that's 1 o'clock Eastern time. I will offer on Facebook Live a 30 minutes ways of how to deal with the fear of that virus and how we can change our attitude towards it, how it will no longer be bigger than us, and how we can actually embrace this virus as an opportunity rather than a curse. And no, I don't want to diminish that this is something to be taken serious. And I really feel for everyone who got sick and also for those, of course, that died. But we have to put it into a perspective that does not get us into a panic, but instead gets us into a more calm and centered place. And that is also true for other aspects. I mean, for many people I'm working with, they're telling me their worry list is only getting longer by the day. It's the economy that has been starting to tank. It's the upcoming election that scares them. It's, of course, the whole virus thing, the global warming issues. There are so many worry aspects right now bombarding us that, of course, a lot of people, and maybe you are some of them, are living more in that fear and doubt and anxiety mode than really enjoying life. Or maybe you are ignoring your feelings and you just go with the attitude, as long as I don't really pay attention to it, it doesn't bother me. And then you go through the motions, and then you live a little bit in this autopilot mode. But that doesn't keep you any safer. Just as fear and anxiety don't keep you really safe, it actually is making you somewhat weaker, and it certainly doesn't help your immune system. And it doesn't help you whether you are ignoring your feelings or whether you are completely getting stuck in those especially more challenging emotions. It doesn't make you feel at peace or enjoy your life more. This is why today I want to talk about not necessarily our fears, but I want to talk about our hearts. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is because I just came back from our 12th trip to Egypt. And Danielle and I are leading these tours. And this time was the first time in, I think, 7 years or 8 years that we went. And it was an amazing experience once again to be there. Not only being in Egypt and floating down the Nile on our little boat, but being in these temples and sacred sites and being with a group of people that I didn't know. These were mainly clients of Danielle, but these were people that were on a quest. Beautiful, beautiful hearts and souls. And their quest was to evolve and to learn more, especially about themselves and their spirituality. And what has always fascinated me about going to Egypt is how 2 weeks there feel like a whole month. Not because it's excruciating, painful, but because it's so joyful and so deep and so beautiful. Just to wake up every day and feeling that your day has meaning and purpose and flow. And And I often wonder, how is it that there we are able to slow down time and live in a much more fulfilling way? And then you go back into your day to day, and somehow time is speeding up and the months are passing by. And what is it about this way of living that we can also implement and integrate into our daily life so that we are much more at the end joyful and fulfilled in, in how we are existing? And that is what I would like to share, because when I was thinking about our past experiences and this experience, the word that kept coming up for me was living from the heart. Not mindful living, but heartful living. Really just getting out of this overthinking, out of our headspace where we are always feeling like, well, there are the answers and that's what we need to trust in, and getting back more into the heart. Now, why is it in the first place that we are not listening to our heart? Well, I feel like, most of us have not necessarily heard from our parents or teachers, listen to your heart, follow your heart is right. No, the heart was associated as, well, this is impulsive, or this is, too emotional, or the heart is actually, telling you stories and ultimately deceiving you. And rely on your intellect, rely on your rational thinking, rely on what you learn and not what you intuit inside of you. And so we just abandoned our heart as something that's a little bit of sideshow and maybe going to be only there on vacation or when you are falling in love. And then we get hurt, and then we get disappointed, and then we get betrayed, and then we get somehow rejected, abandoned, you name it. Another more reason to just shut yourself off the heart and stop connecting to it. Maybe doing a little, creating a little wall around it, and ultimately keeping yourself away from whatever is inside. Now, the problem when we are closing our hearts and stopping to live from our hearts is not only that we are not really feeling what's coming towards us. We are not feeling kindness from others, or maybe love, or caring. All this compassion that may surround us doesn't really affect us. We cannot let it sink in because we have barricaded our hearts. We don't really believe it. I mean, someone told me the other day, there are so many people that tell me how great I am and how much they love me, but I think they have some ulterior motives. I think they are doing this because they want to get something from me. So that is when you really are in the distrusting of whatever your heart may want to feel, and basically scheme around on how you can get through life unhurt and unblemished. And then we are also, when we are barricading our heart, unfortunately, not able to tap into our own inner resources. Those gifts, those gems that are inside of us, those strengths of intuition, of compassion, empathy, of maybe even creativity and deep joy, adventure, curiosity, things that are not necessarily logical, but they feel often so enriching and right when we allow ourselves to get a hold of them. So closing your heart doesn't work both ways. And it certainly also doesn't work in regards to being or becoming your authentic self. So how do we go into the more heartful way of living? Mindfulness is beautiful. Many of us are practicing mindfulness meditation, stilling your mind, becoming more present, being more in that place of sitting and just feeling yourself. But I believe we are sometimes ignoring that there are also messages from our heart, that there is a wisdom in our heart that doesn't really come to the forefront when we're just stilling our mind. We actually need to knock at the door of our heart, or we need to open the door to our heart. So those steps that I want to talk about today to heartful livings start with the first step, which is about connecting to your heart. And I want you just to practice this for one moment. It just takes not a long time. You can do it right now. So I want you just to close your eyes unless you're driving. Take a deep breath in. And just focus on your heart. I'm not talking about the beating organ. I'm talking about more that space in your chest, the space from where you know and maybe you remember those warm, loving, caring, appreciating, adoring, passionate feelings are coming from. Just focus on your heart and let your thoughts and feelings just go there without judging. Just be curious. Simply relax and notice how your heart feels. Maybe you can even listen to your heart. Maybe you can get a sense of whether your heart feels closed, guarded, tight. Maybe there are, when you're looking at your heart, connecting with your heart, memories coming up. Maybe you're feeling like, whoa, there are some emotions, maybe some not so nice emotions, and you may even tear up. But just notice as you're looking and connecting to your heart that there is a part of you that deserves your attention. Notice if your heart feels cold or warm, generous or tight, giving or empty, overflowing or lacking, full of trust or full of fear. And imagine your heart like a house that has all different kinds of rooms. And there may be rooms, just like the basement, where you have stored a lot of those memories and emotions that are still needing to be dealt with. But then there is also a place in your heart that holds your truth, that holds all those gifts and all those specific gems that you're here to touch into and share with yourself and the world. And living from that heartful place is about tapping into that, what's inside of you, and then using that as a way to guide you through life. And so you can just stay focused on that, stay connected to that inner truth, which you may visualize like a light. As we are going into break, maybe you want to just stay with that place. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes then. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that step or secret, that second one, which is about being able to let go and being able to be more flexible as you're detaching from whatever has been holding you back.